Okay, what I'm going to do here is I want to bring in some social icons. And what I want to do is I'm going to place the social icons down here on this web page, right down in this empty space. I can put it in the footer, I can put it in the header, it doesn't matter on this, but a lot of times with my students what they'll do is they'll go out and find graphics or they'll create graphics in Illustrator or Photoshop for their social icons. And I try to stress to any of my students that you want to keep the icons consistent in size, consistent with color, consistent in shape. Okay, and one of the things I want to suggest doing is you might be interested in actually downloading a font that has all the social icons. So instead of being graphics, you can then get these dingbats, and you probably ever, if you ever go in, I always had a fun time going through like web dings and the font choices because all they are is just icons, and they're controlled by typography. You can change the font size, you can change the tracking, you can change spacing because it is a type character. So one of the places I go to um, is I can go to dafont.com. There's so many different places out there. So as you can see here, these are free fonts you can actually download and install on your machine. And so like here, there's some examples of some clothing logos. You got to be careful about logos if you don't have a partnership with it. Social media icons is fine because going in and working with it, but these other fonts you might have to watch out for because you can't just put Ford logo on your your website unless you're a partner. But here with this regards, I can download this, and when I download it, it downloads as a zip folder, and all you have to do is once you unzip it, all you have to do is double click and you can install it. If you're on a Mac, you can just double click, it should install automatically. As you can see here, it's showcasing there's a variety of different type of styles. You can either do a circle, they have like either a square, they also have these little star shapes that you can work with. So there's a whole list of different things that you can actually do and work with. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go back to my Muse file. I'm just going to take my text tool. Now you can do one of two things. You can create like 3 separate text frames, or you can create one text frame that has all the 3 characters. So that's up to you on that part. So let me just create one text box. I want to take my text tool here. I'm going to come up here and I'm going to type in social shapes. Now you do have to look up which key works with this. And so for example, I'm going to do 3 down here. We'll just do 4 actually. Can't read it, so I'm going to make it increase the size. And it is a font size. It's not an object, so you don't have to. You're not going in constrained by resizing with transform tools. You're resizing based on the font size. Now, I don't want that one character, so I just want these 3 here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here and change the color scheme so it matches. I forget which color I was working with. Hold on one second here. Let's go in and add that to my color swatch. Oh, there it is. I knew it was somewhere. This color up there. Now notice here that you maybe want to increase the spacing in between. So like in Adobe Muse, and this is, think about this. If you want to use this in a print design in Photoshop Illustrator, you could do the same thing. But this is for a website, and what I'm going to do is go to my text panel. And here's a kerning option, tracking option, add space in between. And so all I'm doing is I'm adding a little extra space so that way the buttons are not so close together. And again, everything you work with typography with these social font icons, it is a type. So you control it with your text panel. So whenever Adobe app you're in, you're going to go and work with your text panel, and you're not going to work with graphics on that. So it's just a different way to work with this. Now, since it is text, what's interesting is then you can actually go up, like in Adobe Muse, I can work with effects and add a shadow if I wanted to, and control this because it is text. So I'll do like, let's say 2 and 2. to make it more of a hard edge. See how it kind of stands out a little bit? So again, what I'm doing is giving you a different option that when it comes to social icons. But you definitely want to keep everything consistent. So consistent size, consistent shape. When you do a font, you're going to be consistent because all you're doing is you're changing the font size to make sure that they're all the same size. And in here we can actually make it in bold, but you probably don't want to do that because you'll probably make it harder to read. So that's something with those icons. So hopefully this helps you out. It's kind of interesting. So have fun with that.